Hello everybody, welcome back to Art Club with Dean. We are going to be on the letter J today, and for J I've decided to do a really cool jungle scene for all of you. This is going to be very fun, bright and colourful, nice little cartoony edge. So pencils ready? Let's get sketching. Let's start off with the letter J. So let's do something quite jungly inspired. The letter J. We'll do a nice outline here. And then we will fill it in with some tiger stripes. Just like so. Just to give that a nice little finishing touch. And let's get started. We're going to go big, really big with this one here. So to start off with, I am going to do some jungly style plants. These are very simple. These are like the house plants that maybe you have at home. They're really strange. They have these little holes in their leaves, quite fun. So that's one. We will do some big palm style leaves in this corner, and make these nice and bold. We are going to put some little circles on here as detail, and you can also, I'll put a little section in here, like a little cutout section. I like doing that, and we will just rub that out near at the time. We can mix our leaves up, so I can have a nice big jungle vine leaf here, and then some more, maybe behind, a nice big jungle vine leaf here, and some more underneath. Think about where they're all going to go. And we're going to create a border of these leaves. Let's do another one of these little palm leaves in here. That would go all the way through, coming down here, a little nick in there, little cut out part, and there we have it. And we will also have a nice spiky leaf coming over the top as well, and a few of these little jungle vine leaves, because it's all about the greenery. You can also put in some flowers as well, so jungle flowers can be quite big and exotic. So let's kind of do like the orchid-y shape, where the leaves are a little bit more wobbly. This one has some very intricate markings, and we'll have a long jungly stamen, which is the middle bit. I'm going to put some vines up here as well, because vines are always a good thing to include in any jungle scene, and we'll have a little bit of the jungle growth hanging off the vines. So we've got a lot of things going on the top here, and I've got room here. So my advice to you is to try and fill this. You know, add as many plants, as many leaves as you can until you're happy. Put some other little flowers in here as well, little tropical flowers. The less you have to colour in terms of backspace, the better. So fill it in with some more leaves, like so. So let's start first of all with the king of the jungle. Let's get him just about right. I think his nose would be about here. And his eyes would be here. And his whisker part would be around about here. And then we can start to do the top of the mouth. Now the lion has this black part here. Bottom of the mouth. With this little outline, that's a skinny outline. Keep the whiskers going round. This here will be a new piece of spiky fur. And then also on the chin, we do a different sort of style. Of hair, and then I'm going to move up onto the head. And we will give him some big old brows, because he is the king of the jungle. This little part here, the teeth, the bottom teeth, and then the tongue, and then we'll do the good old-fashioned cartoony back of the mouth, which is almost like a heart shape. We'll give him massive big eyes. A lot of black on the eyes here. These little spots where the whiskers are. And then finally, the king of the jungle obviously has this mane of hair. So I'm going to start it off here. And then we do these sort of shapes. All the way around. You're going to go over some of your plants. And then we'll start bringing the hair around into another shape, like so. And the same here. Overlap with these flowers there, so it doesn't matter too much because we did them in pencil, and this is going to be colourful. So here's our lion, and I wanted the lion to take up as much room as he has. Now the next Mr. Lion, we are going to do another jungle critter, and this one is going to be, let's start this one off slightly different. He can come over here. And he has got a raised brow, big eyes. This is a big character. A nice large cheek, and then the nose. You will tell what this is going to be. A big smiley mouth, like so, and then we draw the big old ears for our jungle elephant. And then in this part here, we have to get the other ear. Like so. There'll be a little bit of the body here. What I'm going to do first of all is draw a third jungle animal, not a small one. This time it's a birdie. I say birdie all the time, so a bird. Start off this time with the beak, because the beak for me is the most important part to get that right, get the right shape. So we are going to do a parrot. We have a very unique shaped beak. And then we need a head. Now he can be behind the lion. And we want a feathery body and a wing. And I will do the wing overlapping the elephant, just very, very slightly. And we'll do his claw, and the claw, and the other wing is through there. And parrots have amazing little markings, huge big eye, and we're doing a double circle within a circle. A little tongue there, and a little tongue for the elephant, and the eyes for the elephant. So, here's our three characters. We've done them nice and quick. Just put my trusty pencil down. Let's get the black in. We're going to do these characters first and then come on to the background, because then we can see how much rubbing out we need to do, and there'll be a fair amount in today's little drawing. So let's start with the lines. switch over my pen. I'm not going to colour it in just yet, but we will certainly do our outline. And these little tigery stripe things, just to give it a jungly feel. The letter J. Wow, that's a lot of work we've done today. Let's start to rub out some of these parts, just so you can clearly see, especially around the eye where I want this nice and white. I'll just take my trusty rubber and rub some of that out. Don't worry too much about the background colour, but certainly on your animals. And these are the three animals I just immediately thought of. I don't know why. When I think of the jungle, I always think of the elephant and the lion. I would have liked to have included like a little monkey though. That would, I think, been fun. So we could. So when you're thinking about, okay, I want to create my own little jungle scene, think about your favourite jungle animal and how you can include that into your design. I also like the lizards as well. Things like chameleons, they're amazing and really good fun to draw as well. So let's just get rid of all of the little rubbing out parts. Now I can also see where the parrot's hand is, that needs to be rubbed out. And also the elephant's trunk. And I think that's why it's a good idea when you're doing your outlining work. Don't press as hard as I clearly have, because it's proving tricky to rub out. Keep it nice and light. Although it's just a guideline. So, you know, when we come to do our colouring, the colouring is really quite strong most of the time. Mr. Lion, he doesn't seem to have as many parts that need to be rubbed out, so I'm happy about that. And actually his mane is going to be a really dark colour. So it's just the parrot's wing really. Right, let's do our creatures. Let's get these done first. I'm going to use crayons for this because I just think we can have more fun with the colours. I have more colours in my pencil crayons than I do in anything else. So I want a nice sort of colour, like mid-tone brown. And we will use that for the inside of the lion's face. Same thing, same technique. Lighter in the middle, darker on the outside, darker where this little piece of hair is. Then we go into light. And then we can go a little bit darker here. And certainly a lot darker, so press firmly on the outer part and a little bit darker in between the eye. Same colour here. Just at the side, little parts of fur. This is a good colour for a lion. Sort of like a sandy, almost like a sandy brown colour. I don't want the same colour for his eyebrows at all. So we are going to go for this colour here. Let me just do a test and just see if this is good enough, if it's a different enough colour. Yeah, it is. So for the lion's hair, we are going to do different colours. So my colour palette for this is going to be 3 different colour browns, ranging from a really, really dark brown into a dark brown, a medium brown, and sort of like an orangey brown. And then we can also include a little bit of orange as well, because I think orange is going to look absolutely amazing with this. So this is my little colour palette, and you'll see me use these. I'll keep these out. We were on this colour here, weren't we? I believe. So take that all the way up. We will get lighter as we go up, but still give that a good depth of colour. And we're going to come back and use this one. So next to that, let's try another colour. Let's try a little bit of orange. So nice and light at the top, he says. So a nice even colour. In yesterday's drawing with the insects, they were quite small. You'll find you get a sense of freedom when you're drawing a big picture. I wish I could stop my table from wobbling. Now then, let's make the tip of this a little bit darker. So, more depth of colour here. Nice and strong. So it goes up and around. Take that strength of colour up much higher. So there's only a little bit of light colour. Here we go. And fill that in more solidly. So I've used two colours so far. Let's get a dark colour in now. So here's my dark brown, or my darkest brown. Nice and dark, the root of the hair, and then let's make that lighter as it comes out and goes around. Carry on, intensifying the dark. And then I have one more colour that we haven't used. Let's just see how much darker that is, but I'll start that from the top, because this should be more like a reddy brown. Which I could even include a yellow in here. Nice and light around the top. Go back in here and make this darker. It's nice and firm, nice and even as we go around the lion's mane. Like so. So that's good. I can now put this same colour here. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 different colours, and then almost start again. But I like the way his little mane looks. I think that's looking quite cool. I need a different colour brown again for his eyebrow. Let's use this colour brown. It's a brown that I haven't used. Make these nice and strong. And I can also use this brown, maybe. For the lion's nose. So let's start off with a nice light wash of this colour brown. And then we will make it darker. We can go around the sides, like so. Just to give that a little bit more dimension and come in a little bit stronger. Just leaving the top part lighter, just for more depth. And I need to highlight these whiskers, and again they would be almost like let's try this little fleshy colour here. It's sort of like a mid-tone yellowy flesh, so not a lot, just what I'm going to do is just outline these just to make them look a little bit hairy. So kind of like just go over a little bit of where you've drawn them. Just add a few little spikes in here. I'll shade a little bit of the front of the mouth part, leading to this part of the lip, very lightly. This part of the line would be lighter, naturally lighter. Let's put some of these cranes back down, so I know where they are. Backs around. Now then, let's get the lion's eye done. That eye can be done using my marker pen. Keep the little dots in. And again, eye number 2. Let's just go over that nose part again, make that nice and strong. And then we have this part to fill in. Which is the outline of the mouth, which on some of the bigger cats is black, and that goes down here, and it's almost like a lip. The lip is going to be black. This also needs to be black. Because this is the back of the lion's throat. We want our little part where our whiskers are going to be. And let's fill in the tongue. Let's give him a nice, deep, ready tongue. Steady my table. And then we can do a little bit of shaping here. Slightly darker on the top and then nicely blend it down. inside of the mouth can be a little bit more, let's say, sort of like a deeper red. So if you have a nice deep red, you could use a bright red as well. The deeper colours work better. All the way around here. A little tonsil part. Finish this off, so I'm going to get that as dark as I possibly can, especially on the tops here, so press really nice and firm, and on the outside. So I will add a little tiny piece of pink now to the lion's tongue, just to lighten that up a little bit, so there's a little bit of difference between the back, and then a little bit of grey on the teeth. Just one side, a little bit at the top, and then we have our line finished. Elephant. Now the elephant does have to be a lovely grey colour. So let me pick a suitable colour grey. I'm going to go for a medium colour grey here. Now this is a lot of colouring in, so nice big sweeping strokes for your elephant. Try and stick to all one way if you can. So think about where you're most comfortable, because we do have a big area to fill in. And I need to know that my hand can reach top to bottom without having to turn my piece of paper over. And keeping it more directional will keep the effect neater. This part, you'll notice I'm not doing any detail just yet. We can come back and add in a little bit more detail as we finish off. So let's do the side of the face. Nice and gently. Top of the brow, and then still keeping the same angle with my pencil. See the forehead at the top of the head. This part of the brow. Be careful around the eye, very careful, we don't want any grey inside there. Almost done with this ginormous fella. Do this part of the ear. Around. I make the mouth to do. And the cheek. This part of the mouth. So his body is going to be in here, behind the parrot, behind the lion. So be sure to fill that in grey. It would be much darker, so now I can start to go in and add a little bit more depth. Not to go too crazy, just shade that out a little bit. So a nice gentle motion just to add a little bit more depth of colour behind here. Can give him a shadow to separate this lovely cheek. We'll add a little bit of shadow around this part of the mouth. Here. Like so. So he's starting to take shape. We will do the same underneath the trunk. There should be some shadow. On this little part of the mouth. A little bit more detail around here. And a little bit more shadow underneath this cheek. We'll graduate that out. And we'll put some shadow underneath the eye, just to showcase that that is rounded. Because he's almost sort of like lifting his brow up. So nice gentle frame around the eye. And then in between these two little lines. And then we will start to shade in this part here. So let's just get this little grey pencil and we will start to shade under the trunk. Now you notice I'm not going right to the bottom, I'm leaving a little part of this light grey where it needs to be. So what we're going to do is mimic the shape of this curvy part of the elephant's trunk and make that look more dimensional. There we go. Same with the little cheek part. Underneath the eye, we will give him a little bit of shadow. As I say here, it could be a female elephant. What are we thinking? So again here. Now this one I'm not going to leave the light. This one I'm going to go straight into it, close to the bottom, but still doing this little shape, the shape of the trunk itself. So rounding it off a little bit. Not super hard, not pressing down too hard on this. And then because this is a little bit more in the light, it's not as shadowed from the parrot's wing. So this one here can have a little bit of the light. Running through it. And then lastly, that little part of his nose. I think I said mouth earlier, how terrible is that? Also around this part here. I always think of it as a mouth, but it's not a mouth at all. Now, where we need to go next? We can have a little tiny bit of shadow coming up from here, from each one of the creases on the nose. And again, it's almost like you just graduate that shape up, like give it a nice curve to give the trunk a little bit more dimension. Less as we get down because the creases are smaller. Okay, so we know that this part of the face is going to be hidden in shade, so this will have a lot more areas where there is shadow, but because it's a rounded area we will leave an area of highlight just in the middle, and I will shade around the elephant's eye like so. Connect this all up. Connect this part up with the same thing we did with the trunk. Leave a little bit of light and just take that up, and then a little bit of shadow around this brow area. Let's finish off this part here. Okay, Mr. Elephant is looking rather fetching. We need to do this ear. which I completely forgot about. So we'll do that light wash of grey. And I'm going to fade that down a little bit here. And then just very gently do a wider wash of the grey. And we will do the same here on this side. Just to tie that all in together. A bit of grey here, around where the line's main. That will be much darker grey. What are we missing on the elephant? I've done this little dark part here. Let's have that again at the top. Maybe a little bit of dark here as that's behind the head. Now the inside of the elephant's ears. While we're on it, I think I need to go for a nice light pinky colour. We'll keep it bright and fun. So, holding my pencil back quite far. The further back you hold a pencil, the less pressure you apply to it. So it will give you like a nice even stroke. And we just want a nice light wash of this lovely soft pink. I will make it darker again on the inside, but lighter for the rest of the ear. There we go. So now, same sort of motion, but we will just fill that in a little bit more solidly. Just to get that strength of colour. Just on the inside of the ear. And the same as we go up, we'll make that a little bit more deep in terms of intensity. And I was going to say eye, ear number 2. Same technique, just nice and light. And then we will add a little bit more depth of colour just to this part here. The part just around the top side of the face. Underneath this grey part here. And then a little bit more here. That's our elephant looking cute. I'm going to put two little lines here, make them nice and dark, and then the same on this side. Just for a little bit more detail on Mr. or Mrs. Elephant. We need to give Mrs. Elephant the tongue, so let's again go for like this nice colour red. And we will just add a little bit of shading, so press a little bit harder. And going down, just to give that more of a 3D effect. And let's fill in this mouth. Another line had red. I'm not going to do the same with Mr. or Mrs. Elephant. We are going to just go for black. And I also need to do the eyes. the same for this eye. Now elephants do have lashes, so I am going to give this elephant some lashes, top and bottom, and we will add a little bit more detail onto the trunk. I will do some of these little squiggly lines here, just like so. Very easy to do. 1, 2, and then here we will have them going around. And let's do a little line here as well. And that's the elephant taken care of. So, rabbit. I guess you could get rabbits in the jungle. We're not going to go for a rabbit, we're going to go for a parrot. I want the parrot to be super vibrant and incredibly bright. One of my favourite colours is this lime green colour. So I'm going to mix this up with red. So we are going to push hard here. This lime green. So parrots come in all different colours. And I think they're really quite beautiful birds. Very, very pretty. So we're going to colour him in quite strong with the colour. No light washes of colour. We'll make the parrot extra vibrant with as many brights as we can find. So pressing nice and firmly. Let's do the whole of the parrot's body. Using this vibrant colour green. Now there should be a little foot in there, which I have neglected to draw. I'll have to add that in. And that's looking lovely. I have another light colour green. Let me just see if that does affect it, just to add a little bit more intensity to the colour. It's a little bit more of a yellowy green. But that should brighten up quite nicely, having the two work together. Yes, it's looking very nice. Now I need a really, really bright, like a super bright, almost a poppy red. Let's have a look at this colour here. I think this may be the brightest red that I have. So I'm going to start off light just to see if that's the right colour. Yep. Red. A true red. I'm going to try it against another colour red as well, just to double check that that is the brightest colour I have in the reds. I know I have dull ones. Where are we? This colour here. Let's see how bright you are. Well, actually, that is rather nice. Okay, so I will go over with the brighter colour, just as a point of difference, because the parrot would have like a feathery head, so we can simulate that by just drawing little tiny peaks to almost replicate feathers. Now we need to do the same with the arm, so I'm going to use the two reds. I'm going to do my red first, which is a little bit deeper, and we will lightly fill in the wing. And the wing does need to have feathers drawn into that. So I'm going to just, using this dark red because it's the underneath of the wing, I am going to start to shade that in, and all around this beak area we're going to shade that in too, because it would be more intense here because of the shadow that the wing is casting. And we will also have shadow here around this part of the feather, shadow here around this part of the feather, and shadow here around this part of the feather. And then what we can also do is, using the same pencil, is just draw in more feathers for the wing, like so, so that you can see that that's his feathered hand or feathered arm, and then use the brights just as a fill-in. So fill in this flower, fill in this feather. I said flower, I'm thinking about the flowers already. And brighten up the tips of these feathers. And just inside each one of the other feathers. There's our little parrot. He's looking rather lovely. I'm also going to add to our parrot a tiny little bit of the electric blue. Only a little bit, because this part here is white. So again, just to make it stand out really nicely, I'm going to add a little bit of this blue. I need to also put in a little bit of highlight, or mark out an area of highlight on the beak, which the beak for the parrot is going to be black. So let's mark out where that would be. It would be here. And then we can, nice and firm, just press down hard, just so that we can get the parrot's beak all done. Bottom part, press down as hard so that we can see the two parts of the beak itself. Now around the parrot's eye, we switch to my nice fine black felt tip pen. The parrot has like the markings, and it's a squiggly sort of broken up line around the parrot, and then they have other little black markings on the face as well. They really are quite exquisite creatures. I can go in with the dark green felt tip pen just to mark out more feather shapes. Just very simply, take another dark green colour as well. Just to make these look like little feathers. A little bit more there. And what have we left to do with him? His little inside of his mouth, which I'm going to do a nice vibrant pink. Mr. Parrot. And then we need his claws. A nice strong yellow. And in between each one of these, and we can leave it a little bit lighter on the bottom. And that is Mr. Parrot. I've got a white. I want to just see if I can actually extend that a little bit. And maybe put a little bit of white here, because that would be highlighted a little bit, and a little bit underneath. Not essential, that's just me playing around. So we have our 3 jungle animals. Hang on, my little technique again for making the eyes look super 3D. It's just a shade down again with this lovely light colour blue. If you don't have a light blue, just take a normal blue and just be very, very gentle with it. I am going to do a few little spots on the tongue, just to keep that looking like a real tongue. It's all these little details that really make your finished picture look really quite amazing. Now, I do believe that my line needs whiskers. Let me wait until we're finished here before we do that. So I'm fully aware that the background is going to take a long time, and I wanted the focus to be the characters here, and I've already taken a few shortcuts just to ensure that we can get everything done. So you haven't seen me do different parts of the ears. I will show you one little technique that you will notice I've added is the stripes through the hair to give the hair a little bit more detail. So for example, let's take that lovely colour, this colour here. So for this one here, all you do is remember we did this really dark, so now you take it and you just do lines going round, almost just like hair, and it's as simple as that. We haven't got any here, but I will just make that dark. And the orange colour I'll show you again here. So whatever way this is going, so we're curving it around this way, and then this one here goes like this. We've done it up there, here, just to make it look more like hair. And it looks really, I think it looks really cool. It's a nice finishing touch, because remember the line has a mane, so we need to make it look like a lion's mane. Let me just finish that round here. So it's still dark at the bottom, and then going up to where there's hair, a little bit there, and finally some more here. That's given them a really lovely finish to the lion's head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the next section here and do it in stages so that you can see how cool this looks like, because you know exactly how to colour in green, and the same principles apply when we're colouring in the green. I will do a few little leaves just to show you, and then the rest is over to you. So let's get ourselves, oh hi R2. Let's get ourselves a mixture of a light and a dark green. And let's try here. So we'll just lightly colour in the leaves. Like so. R2, what are you doing up here as I'm trying to finish off this picture, hey? There's no one giving you any attention. Isn't he a gorgeous little cat, hey? Hey R2, oh you feel nice and silky. He loves to play with my pencil crane, so I'm gonna have to put you down, because if not I'm never gonna get this picture finished. Hey, are you okay? I'll give you lots of fuss after I've finished, okay? Promise. Gorgeous little cat. Come on. Let's get you down, hey? Ah, thank you. Little base colour. So if, look at this particular leaf that I'm drawing, it just means that every other leaf that I do, this style of leaf should ideally be the same colour, and we can change the colour, the other colour green for say the blades of grass, the tropical leaf and the vine leaves. That can be different. So let's just carry on with this very quickly. So shade here, make it a little bit darker. around
You look
the middle part of the leaf. Let's make that nice and dark.
Get down to the cat.
We'll also, if there's another leaf overlapping, be sure to put that
Look,
shadow in.
If not, we're never going to get done.
Darker on the outside, always, just to give that a bit of shade. Darker here, so this one stands out, and a little bit of shadow, a little bit darker around the leaf itself, the little curved parts. And then the dots, I'm going to press firmly, same colour, just as a little bit of contrast. Round that up. And that's one leaf. So I'm going to continue to fill this painting in. You'll see it all sped up, so you don't have to watch me, and we'll come back as soon as we're done. So this is our finished picture. I've gone in really quick, and I've had to speed this up for you just so that you can see the finished effect. You can spend a lot more time just perfecting and polishing, but I think you'll agree, the mixture of the greens against the three animals really works, and it helps create the illusion that they're actually in the jungle. So I've just used various discoloured greens just to do that. And then to add vibrancy to the flowers and also to the letter J, I've switched over to felt tip pens in the various brights. So that's it. That's the end of our J for Jungle scene. I really hope you enjoyed this session. It was very big, very ambitious. Take your time with it. I think this is something you can have a lot of fun with. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.